Hi, my name is Nasim Nazari. I'm a student at Claremont McKenna College. I'll be discussing Proposition 1, an initiative to authorize $4 billion in general obligation bonds to fund affordable housing in the state. Housing in California is expensive. According to the state legislative analyst, an average California home costs 2.5 times the national average, and California's average monthly rent is about 50% higher than the rest of the country. Many factors contribute to the state's high housing costs, but the central problem is that the state is not producing enough housing to meet existing demand. These shortages lead to high home prices and rents. The legislature drafted Proposition 1 as part of its efforts to address this crisis. The state would use $3 billion of Proposition 1's bond money to build or renovate multi-family housing projects with spaces reserved for low-income residents, subsidize urban housing near transit centers, build new housing for farm workers, and provide down payment assistance for low and moderate income home buyers. The state would use the remaining $1 billion to provide below-market home loans for veterans. Prop 1 uses bond financing, which means that the state would borrow money and pay it back with interest over many years. The legislative analyst estimates that the $3 billion in bonds for affordable housing programs would ultimately cost taxpayers approximately $5.9 billion. The $1 billion in loans to veterans would be covered by veterans participating in the program. Prop 1 is backed by a coalition of affordable housing advocates, veterans groups, developers, construction unions, and the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. The measure has received major funding from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Proponents say the measure would help provide needed housing for many groups in the state who cannot otherwise afford it. Prop 1 has no organized opposition. The ballot argument opposing the measure is signed by attorney Gary Wesley, who argues that these subsidies would not adequately address the housing crisis and may not be the best use of the state's limited bond capacity. In summary, a yes vote on Prop 1 would authorize a total of $4 billion in general obligation bonds to fund affordable housing. A no vote would prevent the state from issuing these bonds. For more information on Prop 1, visit roseinstitute.org and these other sites.